Very good morning. Today we'll see the conditions existing the current days in India and also other situations in the Indian economy. And basically, any country may develop by producing, that is manufacturing, distribution, domestic trade and international trade. Of course, no country just produce all the types of products. If they can produce also, they may not produce because of the cost control measures. That is the cost advantage. In that case, different currencies provide, maybe each country may have its own currency, like INR, Indian rupee for us, Japanese yen, euro for European Union, UK GBP, which was one of the strongest currency in the early days before Second World War. Also the US dollar, the currently dominant currency. So every country, every central bank all over the world wants to keep 60% of their reserves, which are showing the strengthening their economy. 60% they keep in USD. So automatically, demand and supply makes very well in trading the currencies. So, but though we have different currencies for all the countries, sometimes we feel that why the dollar is to be traded, why not rupee? Currently 87, 86 is trading internationally for INR. Likewise, other currencies. Of course, short period in the last 3 months, since November or December 24th till date, or next 3 months, USD plays a lot role as the government in power has changed and doing certain drastic changes for their country. Of course, the USD plays a lot role. That's why most of the countries, they need to go for USD. They need to maintain their currencies, local currencies, to be stronger to that of USD. They need to manufacture, distribute and get earning from exports. Making manufacturing sector developing, it won't be in a quarter or 2 quarters or 3 quarters. It takes over a period of time, say 3 to 5 years, I say. Because whatever we produce, it cannot be. Like you take 1979 or 80s, India and China is almost privatized. But still it takes time for us to reach the level, coming to the fifth level of economy in the world, crossing the UK and so on, in terms of our economy. But still, we find we have so many freebies given by political parties, providing the free without any thing. Of course, each country should protect their population in terms of health, education, mostly, and also the insurance for the people and the agriculturists and the crops. Here itself the game starts. You see, even US produces in other countries and gets the benefit from Mexico, China and Canada. So whenever the government in power changes every 4 years in US, they make some new rules, policies they change. So, but the trade goes on. International trade goes via 2 canals, mostly via sea route, that is Panama Canal, and also the via Suez Canal, and for the cost control. But if you see any country, say India or US or any country, China, local borders with their international borders with other countries, they have disputes, physical disputes. Of course, the trade wars also get effect. So in this case, what happened? The game started last 30, 40 years in terms of the trade change. So we wanted some new currency to be strengthened in place of dollar. So some uh, organizations like it has come up to make it amongst the countries. Like one of them is the BRICS. BRICS is initially BRIC, Brazil, Russia, India, China. Then South Africa has been added, it becomes BRICS. Then another 5 added, 10 now. So another 10 were ready. So almost 20 countries. So they wanted a dominant trade amongst their group. That is the BRICS, other than the USA. See, here UK is not there, Australia is not there, Canada is not there, along with the US. So mostly the developed countries say what they say is the defense equipment and arms and ammunition to be sold and bought by these countries. That's why they dominate. So most of the countries in Africa, they may not have capability to produce, or they don't produce if their capability in terms of the defense. So they need to depend either on the Russia, Israel, USA, China. Okay, this may happen depending on the trade that they like amongst them. With the again the party in power, democratic countries. Okay, except certain countries in African continent where the economy is in doldrum, because mostly they depend on other countries, African countries. Even the domestic products, right from small products like toys or food items or clothes, or even the daily needs of the things in their kitchen, in the household items, I say. So that's why here the trade that may happen. So the gap that comes between the exports and everything, the trade gap, that to be reduced into the positive every country. Even the USA finds difficulty with the China and India and number of countries in the Europe. So we see in the last 3 months or 4 months or 6 months, this may happen regular. So what to be done? We need to see how it will be tackled. So definitely for any country, the barometer is the foreign exchange reserves. I said already 60% of the each central bank, even RBI, Bank of China, mostly maintain 60% in terms of USD. Then the gold reserves. Then other foreign currencies, euro, GBP, and so on. So the currently last 50 days or 20 days or last 1 month, next 3 months, GBP or any other foreign currency, they want to make their currency to be stronger. But here it is, the new government has come, Republican Party in USA, they wanted their currency to build, then their exports are to be good, tariffs are to be raised. The point has come now, that is taxes and tariffs on the imports and exports. For example, in the auto car sector, when we import from China, India imports from China, full-fledged car, 100% tariff on the imports of the auto cars. If it is car to be bought and to restructured, it comes about 70%. It means tariffs have been reduced from American imports. And then if you buy the parts, we put a 10% tariffs on it. Then we need to assemble. It takes time. So that's why the US companies or US government wants that our tariffs are to be reduced. Let us see what will happen the government. So it happened in the current budget, February 1st, 2025, certain tariffs have been little bit changed. You see the second-hand cars, first-hand cars, parts and assembling parts and so on. In each sector this may happen, defense. Okay. So here we try to see the India, what to be done to reduce the trade gap, balance of trade, exports minus imports or imports minus exports to be strengthened. So with certain countries, our trade may be good, but overall the balance of payments are to be seen for any country. So that's the reason the recently when the US government had changed, they had their own protected economy. You imagine, you see the developed countries also talking about a protected economy for them. They say that their people, their country is first US. So they had to put some tariffs with Mexico, China, Canada, and certain other economies. They're reducing their aids. Either it is a domestic purpose with their country or arms and ammunitions and supply of the arms and ammunitions and then other activities, what they have done in Iraq, Afghanistan and so on. Even the Israel, they helped, Egypt, they are helping. So they wanted to reduce and see their currency to be strengthened and exports are required. So that's why they insist most of the countries are to be, including India, they buy from them also or they come to direct investment in USA by Indian companies. Of course, we have some. The problem is, if you try to see last 20-30 years, US companies investment is more outside the USA rather than the inside the US. FDA matters. Of course, other investments are also matter in the markets, stock markets, foreign exchange, and manufacturing sector, and services. So they say that. So you see the development that take place. I said in the beginning, even each country depends on other for any particular product. Even the spectacle, the anything that we use in the spectacle parts, the most important part is what we see, that one lens. Or you take any medical equipment or the infrastructural development for things. So each country depends on others. Even China depends on other country or USA depends on that. Russia imports some the things. So the crude also matters other than the foreign exchange, right? So here all these things when we are talking about, so it may happen certain things along with the foreign exchange, manufacturing sector, service sector, exports, human resources development, and so on. So that's why here we need to go on tie up with other countries in all the areas. The most important thing is the brighter way the country is to improve their GDP. Apart from all these, the local conditions are to be seen for each country. Not only here, I'm not talking about mostly the political, mostly the economic situations. That matters. If the political turmoil, that anything comes, automatically the problem comes. That happened in the Maldives recently, our neighbor. Happened for Sri Lanka. So, small countries surrounding India, other than the one or two situations. So we try to help the same way developed countries help. So they want their benefit. Same way India expects from the neighbors countries. So that's why here the most important thing is three things. One is the international currency like the dollar, GBP, yen, or euro. So to be strengthened, we also wanted to be strengthened the rupee. But what happens? In the case of the balance of trade is negative, so our exports are, though we get more benefit because of the depreciation of the rupee with the dollar, which is strengthened today, it becomes crossed 87. Maybe going up another 3 months or 6 months, we have to say 2 quarters to be strengthened further. The correction takes place at the international for the USD. So we see that sometimes in the markets, people shift from one to another where there is a better revenues. That's why my point here it is, any economy, including India, need to be strengthened, manufacturing and services and export and get the earnings and see that our products are to be accepted by all. We continue with further discussion at the international level.